Okay. Okay. I just added 14.06 actually has three sort of subunits within it, sub little chapters. Um, they're in the textbook. They're breakout things that we can do in class. Um, so it's a very short chapter. I just want to go over briefly what's in each of the three of them. At the garage, fast forward, finger spelling. Um, so the first thing is an experiment of just um, what if you have to describe what's wrong with your car and um, you don't know what the signs are? How would you describe it? How would you act it out? Um, so really, it's just a practice. It's something we can do in class. Again, I will usually talk about other things using instrument classifiers. In Ohio, we're normally in the tail end or the awful part of winter, so there's a lot to talk about of like digging out of snow. How big were the drifts? Where were the icicle? There's lots of things we can describe. So I will oftentimes sort of like keeps changing. Anyway, um, so we'll incorporate this stuff. But if you're just on your own looking at this and thinking about these ideas, what would you do if you had to go to a mechanics and describe what the problem is? What's broken, headlight out, stuff like that. So um, here are some examples of what we could talk about. Your turn signals don't work. How would you show your turn signals, right? So here's your car, boom, and then turn signals, right? Click, right? So just a little flashing light, right? And it click, nothing broke. Maybe the headlights, light, I keep freezing, broke. Um, so most of the time, for something like this, especially, um, we can gesture, we can find ways of signing things, even if we don't know what the actual vocab is. Most of the time, using classifiers or describing what something looks like, acting it out, any of a number of different things. Um, so there's a whole bunch of ones to play with. How would you try to show it? Um, it's easy enough to just play through these and try to experiment with them. I also included two short vocab videos, one by Joseph Wheeler, and then the other one, um, LifePrint ASL. Gosh, I'm totally blanking on his name right now. Anyway, um, but these are good. Some similar ones, some different ones of going through things that you would use at a repair shop. So I mean, I could go through it. They've already recorded them. Why not watch with them? And plus, they don't look quite as scruffy as I do. So the second breakout activity is, I should change that to a number two. Anyway, uh, it's the second part of this one, actually. So we'd hand out cards with problems on it, and you try to come up with what they are. It's just taking it a little bit further. My chair is very loud. I apologize. Um, and experimenting where, is there a vocab word? If there's not, how do we sign? Second activity is miming and exaggerating. How do we change our signs to suit different things? So, for example, signing something as big as you can, signing something as small as you can, as fast as you can, as slow as you can. Playing with how can we stretch signs to reflect different things. A really good way of looking at this is if we're talking about a house. Someone has a big house, someone has a small house, someone has a house that's just right. How would we sign that differently? So you can sign house, you can sign big house, small house. That doesn't really communicate what you want it to say. What you really want to be able to do is sign house large. right? So simply by doing huge, small as I sign house, that is much more clear than just signing live, big house, small house. Um, signing fast, signing slow. If you are school finished, drove home, versus taking your time. So how you produce the sign can change the meaning quite significantly. Um, there's a difference too if you're signing something down here. If you were crawling around, walking around, versus I was up on the catwalk, or I was happy versus sad. So there's differences in where we sign things. And a lot of times, if you just play with something, you'll go, oh, this kind of feels different. Like, um, if you small, if you're whispering, right? I heard my boss coming at work. Right? Um, if you repeat something, I just keep eating, right? Um, and then they get kind of signing something backwards, um, trying to be private, being friendly, being happy, being cheerful, crazy, and just start to notice how signs change their meaning based on how you sign them. And now we have gotten to the point where we can manipulate a sentence and the meaning of a sentence pretty clearly. And there are basically four different types of sentences that we can easily manipulate. There are two different questions, right? There's yes, no, and there's WH. So if you remember, eyebrows move differently. For a yes, no question, the eyebrows go up, right? So it's like, you want coffee? Milk? Sugar? Right? Eyebrows go up. All I need is a yes or a no. That's it. Give me my answer. Got it? Cool. My eyebrows go down for WH. I want information, right? Even happy. That's not quite what I want to display. How about if I do this? So, what time do you work? Why did you come here? Um, Eyebrows down. So, those are two different variations that we have. We've also got a positive statement and a negative statement. So, we're nodding, right? They're not nice. You're not happy. You're mad. I'm not mad. Right? So, positive, negatives, yes, no, WH questions. Those are four. And you can also change OSV, object, subject, verb sentences, house, I go, to topic comments. And that might look like the same sentence, but the eyebrows are going to move slightly different. House, I go. So it's you loft your eyebrows up to set up the topic of here's what I'm going to talk about. The movie Thor sucks. The topic is movie Thor. What about it? It sucks. Right. So here are four just very simple sentences that we can play with. House, large. Right? Um, if it's a question, is their house big? WH, we would probably need to add a WH word to this. Um, where is their big house, right? House, big, where? And eyebrows would go down. Um, the negative statement, or right, House, big. It's not big, right? So shaking head. That felt awkward. Um, and a positive statement. Then object, subject, verb. So house is the object, right? It's big. Very similar to house. Here's my topic, eyebrows up. It's big. So notice how all those are the same when you're dealing with a very short, simple sentence. OSV, topic, comment, they're basically the same. House, their house, I went there, it was huge. Object, subject, verb. Their house I went to, it was huge. Setting up as a topic, their house I went to, that's a topic, eyebrows lofted. Then I give the comment, massive. All right. It's kind of a feel. You raise the topic with the eyebrows, and then you deliver the information, your opinion, afterwards, the comment. And you can do that with each of those that I've got pictured there or listed there. And the last thing is fingerspelling practice. Now, we've talked about fingerspelling in a couple of different ways. We've got 3 basic ways of doing it. And you can see I put them down there. There's one for clarity. If you're introducing the name of a person, or you are introducing a topic where you want to fingerspell it once and have it be clear, you're going to take your time, watch your scene partner, watch whoever you're talking to, and spell at the speed they need to understand it. You don't want to go too fast, right? You don't want to have to repeat it over and over. So my name. The other way is if it's just vocab, it's the fingerspelling is the sign. We've seen it with apartment, car, truck, Truck, where the fingerspelling is just a sign. It's not letters. It's one chain of movement. Car is probably one of the most visible ones you'll see, CAR. And you'll notice there's some twisting and turning of letters to make them easier and smoother. So that is what we call lexicalized fingerspelling, where it's lexical. It is the word. The sign is the word. And the last one is casually. I probably should put that right underneath clarity. It's where once you've established what something is, you just kind of fingerspell it very relaxedly. It's somewhere between fingerspelling for clarity and a lexicalized sign. There's actually been studies that have looked at if a name comes up in conversation, it's slow the first time, and then each time it's repeated, it gets faster and faster and faster because they don't need to check in with each other. They know what that word's going to be. So here are some examples. If it's FS, chances are it's fingerspelled for clarity. If it's a hashtag, the number sign, more than likely it is lexicalized. Car, bus, station wagon, truck. If it's miles per hour, MPH, we wouldn't do this. MPH, no one would catch that because it's miles per hour. We don't have regular and unleaded really anymore, so that's kind of weird. AC, you'd want it fingerspelling speed for clarity. Right? Condo, apartment tends to be faster. I know that says fingerspell, but that tends to be pretty fast. Maybe the first time you bring it up in conversation, it would be slow to make sure someone knows what you're talking about. But a good thing to practice is any kind of short words, especially words we build other words out of. Prefixes, suffixes, root words, those are good. And if you search on the internet, you'll find lots. And then there's some more vocab. Again, this is mainly just activities we can do in class, but I wanted to at least give some hints about what's in the actual conversation. All right.